30,682. That's the number of homunculi I've made so far. I haven't kept count, but that's the latest specimen serial number, so I figured as much. The average lifespan of a homunculus is 3 days. However, out of all the specimens thus far, this new one has the most potent magic power. 3 days have passed, but its heart has yet to cease functioning. If I can develop this specimen into a witch, then it will mean tremendous progress for my research. Understanding how to turn a person into a witch should also shed light on how to do the reverse. Hence, I should be able to restore this cursed body of mine. A puppet devoid of emotions can't use magic powers. My plan to turn this homunculus into a witch was experiencing setbacks. One day, the Pope visited my laboratory. I had no idea what would bring the supreme authority of the Church of Longinus here, but she was shockingly well versed in my field of work. Existence, the tree of life, witches and angels, the heart and the soul. What sounded like myths the Church would preach about recounted our world in incredible detail. God created this world. Within each of us exists a soul, and angels reside in the heavens above. They all seemed like works of fiction written by a child. But what if they were true? I formulated a completely new theory based on these myths, and I saw magic powers finally manifest in my new specimen. I named the specimen A.A. Thanks to her, all of my experiments progressed immensely. What is a witch? What is a soul? To know those answers is to know the secret of life. Before I knew it, I had lost sight of my mission, completely immersing myself in research and inhumane experiments. The truth of the world is within my grasp, filling me with ecstasy that drowned out any feeling of guilt. But one day, as I was leading A.A. to the laboratory by the hand, I felt her squeeze back. Her hand was far smaller than mine. It's laughably thin, and looked as if it could snap at any moment. Yet she grasped my fingers as tightly as she could. It was at that moment that I understood. I wasn't creating puppets. I was creating lives.
Experimental homunculus, serial number 30682. A puppet that from birth is used in endless experimentations and disposed of when broken. A tool that has no will, nor heart of its own. That is what I am. But one day, the professor said she would raise me as a human, an experiment to give a puppet a heart. The days that followed were nothing like what I was used to. I read books and had long talks with the professor. Slowly, I gained knowledge, and my heartbeat grew stronger. When I asked the professor what the sky was, she laughed and said, "It'd be nice if you could go see it one day." I am a puppet. I have no emotions, nor desires, but I started thinking about how I wanted to go and see it. Professor, what is the sky?
Little A asked me that question after I let her read a book. She has no clue what the sky is, because she's never set foot outside the laboratory. I showed her some photographs, but that just added to her bewilderment. No amount of words or photographs can convey how blue and beautiful the sky is. After staring at the collections of blue ink for a while, she looked up at the laboratory ceiling and muttered in curiosity, "The sky here is so white." "I sure hope you can see the real sky one day." "That would be nice," she replied, her emotionless eyes trembling ever so slightly. "Is there any way to show little A the sky?" If I learned of a witch who could control light, I went to ask them if they'd make a sky for little A. If I got word of a book with beautiful photographs of the sky, I procured it at once. My research falls behind, and I spend more time exclusively on these experiments. By the time I realized it, she was the only thing I could think about.
Let's go see the sky. The professor said that suddenly one day. Let's run away from this place and go see the world. As a puppet, I have no right to refuse. I must obey the professor. But where should we go? What should we do? The more the professor asks, the more something within me swells. Tomorrow's the day, little A. Aren't you excited? To the professor's words, I gave a small nod, even if I couldn't comprehend what being excited meant. Then the day came to go see the sky. The professor never came.
I would destroy the world for my child. Whenever I'd read books with that line of thinking, I'd find them to be illogical. Weighing the life of one against the rest of humanity? It would be ludicrous to compare. But the average lifespan of a homunculus is 3 days. Little A has marvelously lived for 1 year. But that miracle won't last much longer. I'll make sure she lives longer, even if it's just a day. For that reason alone, I joined the Pope's Clefa project, all the while knowing it would result in the end of the world. The project succeeds as expected, conjuring forth an angel. The Archangel of the 7th Sephira, Haniel, the Angel of Love. Although created as a heartless puppet, Little A was made to host the Angel of Love within her body. How ironic. Or perhaps it's because she's a puppet that she wished for a love that wasn't meant to exist.
The professor appeared 3 days later. She was with someone called the Pope. This is the first time someone other than the professor has come. I don't understand why, but something doesn't feel right. As I stand there silently, the professor looks at me and smiles. I'm sorry, little A. The professor apologized. She was smiling but also crying? Why are you apologizing? Why are you crying? Why are you smiling? I didn't understand anything. Not the professor's feelings, not my feelings. Nothing. Frozen in place, I watch as the Pope readies her spear. The last emotion this heartless puppet needs to be complete is despair. Then she thrust her spear into the professor. The professor collapsed in a pool of blood. To me, the professor was my everything. She made me. She gave me knowledge. Everything was her doing. But that professor has died. I'm sure dying is something sad, but it's no use. I don't feel anything. There aren't any tears in my eyes. And yet, I can't see anything anymore. I can't hear anything anymore. My legs are shaking so much I can't stand anymore. My chest hurts so much. I can't think of anything. Professor, what is this? Why do I feel... Professor? Hey, Professor? Professor, Professor? 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 Professor, professor, professor! Professor! Professor, professor! Professor! Professor, 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 professor! I have rust inside me. It latches onto my heart and stains it, a warm impurity. We talked about so many things and read all those books, but the only thing I can remember is her. Before I knew it, my once empty heart had been filled by her, but she is not here anymore. This feeling I think to be sadness is an emotion. I do not have emotions. That's why I'm not sad. If I'm not sad, though, then what is this? This thing that is overflowing from within me is trying to destroy me. My head has gone blank. My chest aches as everything inside me creaks and crumbles. All that's left inside me is one thing. Professor, I want to see you again. That was both my wish and my curse.
The power of a witch is influenced by her emotions. Powers can manifest from happiness and joy, but something more powerful is evoked from pain and sadness. We have many treasures in our lives. The time we spend enjoying meals with family, conversations with friends, being near the people important to us. They're normal everyday things to us. But if we were to lose even one of them, we'd surely cry out in distress. But what if there was someone who only had one of those treasures? Once it's gone, how much agony would that person suffer? The kingdom of Byron was destroyed by a curse. One that turns everything to rust. A curse of love gone completely berserk.
When I opened my eyes, the laboratory had been destroyed by rust. A man with a staff said that I had gone berserk and that he stopped me. And the girl beside him was... I was thinking about how much I wanted to see you. That's why right now I think I'm happy to see you. But no, this isn't enough. There are so many other things I want to say to you. I want to talk with you. I want to read books with you. I want to hear your voice. I want to hold hands with you. I want to see you. I want to be with you. What is this? Why does it keep overflowing? I am just a puppet, so why are there so many things I want to do with you? I don't understand. I don't understand anything. So, please, would you teach me again, Professor? Right now, I am on top of my lord's mansion looking up at the sky with the professor. It's just as I read about in books. Big, blue, and transparent. No pictures can describe what's before my eyes. In this world, apparently there's something called an ocean that is as big and blue as the sky, and mountains that are so big they can reach the sky. I'm sure there are still many things I don't know, so I want to learn about them. If possible, together with the professor. As a puppet, I don't understand emotions, but I do understand one thing now. Being with you is so warm, so peaceful. Professor, I love you.
How much power can the Tree of Life give? How long does a homunculus-turned-witch have to live? Everything is new to me, so I don't have a clue. But I'm sure my time with little A will be short. We might have 10 more years, or we might have until tomorrow. I'm bound to accept punishment for my sins one day, but I regret nothing. Even if what lies ahead is the most painful of goodbyes, even if my soul will be shattered to pieces, I will never forget all the warm memories little A gave me for the rest of my life.